Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, Caleb's Creative Arts. My name is Caleb Carr, and in this video I'm going to be going over the beginning steps to starting a painting. I'll be explaining how I use a tablet to make a digital painting and use references in order to get a original composition put together and eventually a sketch that will be transferred onto the canvas. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so here we're getting into some of the digital color study and essentially a sketch that I've been working on. I was using for this foreground right here the reference on the left, and I was just really trying to get the values and the uh, hues and colors really uh, set in really quickly without trying to use too much of a detail brush. That's why you're not seeing a lot of high detail with this. This is just a color study sketch, just to make sure that my composition looks really good, and I have that dark background for where the trees are going to be, and then we have the light that I just filled in, just to make sure that I'm showing there's a lot of shadow where the trees are going in. As you can see there, I'm not using very detailed strokes for the brushes, but I'm also using kind of a charcoal texture brush to try to get in the black marks. And right here I'm using greens to get in the trees, and it's really nice working on this digitally because you can do different layers. As you can see here, I got some of the trees that are covering the trees in the back, but then the trees in the front are covering them. And I will say that this came to be a problem when I was working on the actual painting, because I was facing a problem with trying to paint with acrylics, like physically paint on the canvas in the same way I'm painting here, where I've got layers in front of layers in the background, and really I should have just gone the background, the foreground. But honestly, you live, you learn, and as we can see here, I'm getting some of the lighter values onto those bushels of trees, the branches and all that, and going in here and adding some more values into the trees. Again, this was a really, those little branches that you're seeing there on the left of the composition, I really should have just not drawn those and just painted around them. But honestly, again, it's a learning curve. As you can see here from my reference image that I'm using, I'm going in with some browns, some dark oranges for these trees, and then just working from background to foreground, just trying to fill in the space a little bit more. You can see there I'm adding more bright, saturated orange highlights, and this is just helping to form the leaves. Again, this is really easy to do digitally. I don't really think I spent all that much time working on this, but I was able to get this color study and sketch. For all intents and purposes, it is a sketch, but I was able to come up with this completely original composition using uh, my tablet. Definitely recommend this. This is a very nice way to get things started, and a lot of professional artists end up using uh, tablets or Photoshop or whatever you have to put together their compositions like I'm doing here. It's really easy to fix things. You can see here I am adding a little bit more details to the baseline of the trees, but this was able to be used when I was actually painting the composition. So getting pretty close to being done here. Now we go on to using a reference image of a white bison. And for this reference image, I did find it on Pinterest, just like I did all my other references. And it's really good to use Pinterest as a uh, inspiration and reference board. Just put a bunch of images together. What I did with this image is I did crop it and turn it the other way, so that way I'm not using the exact same original image. But yeah, I'm adding my values here. These values are a little less saturated. They're more neutral. And that does help stick out and stand out from the back of the composition. So here we go on this. Getting pretty close to finishing this baby bison. So now that I've gotten my drawing done, I'm going in with a blue pencil brush, and I'm going in and tracing over everything. I am using different colors in some of these areas. As you see now, I'm adding in purples to try to try to make sure that I'm able to see what layers I'm on. And this helps with getting all the details. If you see there right under the mother bison's foot, I have a little bit of a paint swab. So that way I can go ahead and get that color back if I ever need it again. And I'm going in and adding some oranges. But yeah, as I said, you can use different layers to do different segments of it. So here we go. Let's turn off the paint layer. Alright, so now that I have my tracing completed, I'm going to turn off my color layer and I'm going to go in and add a grid. This is the first time where I'm using a dotted grid. So rather than making all my lines in graphite and then having to erase them later, I'm simply putting dots every 2 inches. And where these cross is where I'm going to be able to start transferring my image. But I'll explain that later in the video. Okay, so here I'm digitally adding my grid. This will make it really easy to transfer the drawing onto my canvas, and I didn't record that process for this video, but honestly, it's not that important. Okay, now that I have my dot grid started on my canvas, it is time to transfer the drawing. I'm going to be using my tablet that I have down here and the digital line drawing that I have as reference to transfer each square that I have here. Just going to be trying to stay a little more loose about my drawing so that I don't have to stick to too many details and just focus so much on getting everything exactly correct, given again, this is a completely digital reference painting. So I don't have to stick exactly to it. And then when I go into the painting process, I'm going to be using photo reference to get the details correctly. So yeah, here we go. All right, now even though I said that I wasn't going to focus too much on the details, that was a lie. I honestly spent a lot of time working on the details, and as you can see here, this is a time lapse, so it's really sped up from how much time I spent on this initial line drawing. Now, in the future, I'm not going to spend as much time on this because I honestly do feel like it was at times a little bit more of a waste of time to spend so much effort on getting this line drawing done. I could have done a lot of this. I actually could have done this in sections, painting the sky and then the yellow tree line, and then going in later and adding these trees and all the branches. But you know, I think it turned out very well, honestly. So now that I have my entire line drawing completed, I'm going to be going on to the underpainting stage. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching that video. Please remember to like and subscribe, it helps the channel out a lot. And for more content, please follow me on the socials and check out my website. We'll see you next time.